What's going on, guys? We got a special surprise tonight. No, not the Chapman. Guys, I meant last weekend, I had it in my cart to finish this guitar. And I went to put the knobs on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have the knobs. So since I need to order knobs, the owner of the guitar will get to pick. I have 2 knobs picked out, and I'm kind of thinking, well, we'll let him pick it out. Let's go over the guitar real quick. So I'll let Linnell give kudos to the person that sent this to us. Got to hit the button, honey. Yeah, this was a freebie, remember?
Oh, that's right. Steven sent this to us.
I got she's in the other room, and her little button's working pretty good. So we want to definitely give a shout out to Steven. Super chats, guys, fund the channel, and then great members of the community. Steven, he sent this in. Okay, he wasn't playing it. It had a couple issues, and we have repaired the guitar. I want to go over the issues the guitar had. You know, we played the guitar before we fixed it. And it was a pretty good player. It really was. The issue the guitar had, it had a funny little spot in the neck. And I went through and I straightened the neck on the guitar. I had it in a fixture for over a month. Okay? And then after that, I went through and I redressed all the fret ends. Okay? And I touched up a couple frets. I did not do a complete fret level on this guitar. I touched up frets. After I got the neck straight, I went through with the fret rocker, and I went through and I corrected the frets that were out, and then redressed the ends of the frets, and then polished the frets. We also added a brand new CTS volume pipe, a brand new CTS tone pipe, and I put a .033 cap orange drop in this, and a new jack. Okay? I went through the bridge, checked all the hardware on the bridge, make sure nothing was stripped, all the saddles were working right, all the locking blocks were working right, made sure all the fine tuners were working right, got the bridge reset, and I touched up the knife edges on the bridge. This is a Floyd Rose special.
Vox said no dB meter.
dB. Oh, you know, I didn't turn on that side of the room tonight. We're not using the amps, so I just didn't go over and turn it on tonight. I was talking to Linnell about doing some rearranging. When we did the live stream the other night, I had a nice little U-shaped room set up, and I actually liked that setup. So we might do some rearranging. The living room's already the music room anyway, so we might just convert this into the studio. There's no seating area in our living room. So I might shift things over and permanently do a U-shape and put those amps on this wall, and then everything here will go on this wall. It would make it much more user-friendly for traffic in the house, if that makes sense. So back to the guitar. The next thing I did to it, I put brand new Godot tuners on it. These are non-locking tuners. They are Godot. This particular set is what they call the non-retail set. So these are for manufacturers. So when you get these, they just come in bags. Each individual tuner is wrapped, and they stick it in a big bag. And there's a label on it, Godot, and the model number. There's no fancy packaging or anything like that, because they're not for retail. They're for manufacturing. So this is a stock manufacturing grade Godot tuner. I use a lot of these because if you find this tuner, they do sell it in the store box with the fancy box. It's about $15 cheaper, okay, on the retail map price to get it in the manufacturing packaging, because they don't have to do the fancy box and all that. It's a very generic. When companies order it, they order 100, 150 of them. They don't need those boxes. They're doing it. They're ordering tuners for production runs. So when I found a vendor that would sell them to me like that, I just picked up a couple sets like that, and it saves a little money. So there's the tuners. We also put a string tree on it because this guitar suffered from the pull coming out of the locking nut to the tuner. When you lock the nut, it would throw the guitar out of tune. So that's been corrected. This is the second set of strings that I put on it. The first set of strings I put on it, they didn't fail when I set the intonation, but I went ahead and left the strings on it for about 2 or 3 weeks, played the guitar here and there, made sure everything stayed stable, the neck stayed straight, and everything was happy where it was. The next thing I did on the back of the guitar, there was something going on right here. You can see there's a little figuring right here, okay? If you look at like a tiger stripe neck, it has a bunch of these. So there's one right there, okay? It had a funny feel to it right here, okay? And I like the profile of the neck on this guitar in its stock form. I tried and tried and tried just to lightly sand and get that funny sanding error out of the neck. It just didn't seem to want to disappear. So what I ended up doing was actually take the Festool with the hard disc and I reshaped the back of the neck, okay? I kept the original profile, but it's about 0.5 millimeters thinner than it was in its stock configuration. And I put 2 coats of tried and true on the back of this neck, and it's freaking awesome now. It was a step that I didn't plan on doing. Again, that's why I like keeping the guitars here. When you're working on a guitar, you go, okay, it's better. It's better than it was. And you set it down, you're like, okay, it's better. It was better. But when I go back and pick the guitar up and then I feel it again, I'm like, I'm just not happy with that. So I went ahead and just reblocked the back of the neck to get the guitar really where it needed to be. It's definitely a player. And again, I want to thank Steven. And this is Brian's guitar. He won it fair and square. Everyone, put in to win this guitar. It's a really pretty guitar. Get that pretty sunburst. And I actually put 1 coat of tried and true on this rosewood fingerboard as well. So you could see how pretty that rosewood turned out. And I just did a basic dressing between the frets. I didn't go crazy like I did on the gym. So basically all I did was put a cleaner on the neck and I touched up any spot that I saw. It was all touch up. And I went straight to like a 2000 grit. That was just to get the goo right next to the fret off from it being previously played.
Jupe says, Avery, I was watching a live stream from a YouTuber weather channel. He had 135,000 viewers and he was getting super chats like crazy. So you need to play guitar and forecast the weather.
Just so everyone knows, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I would do far better doing a YouTube channel based on what I do at work. It would. I watch YouTube and I see other channels doing similar content that what I do at work. I wouldn't even have to change anything. I could just set up a camera and record what I do at work and then edit, 20 minutes of video a night. Just piece something together and do a post every 2 days. I guarantee you that it would get a lot more traction because there's so many people out there doing, DIY projects, do-it-yourself projects in their home. And there's so many things that I'm out in the field and we're installing this or installing that or doing a small repair here, doing a small repair there. It's not CNC work. It's not, gluing up boards or whatever. We could do content like that too, but I made a decision that I wanted to do something with music. And this is not my first YouTube channel. And I'm not going to tell you guys what my other YouTube channel is. No one has seen it. or someone in the audience would have said, don't you have another channel? So now you guys have something to go hunt. I have not posted anything to that channel in probably 3.5, 4 years. So I had a little bit of experience before I started this channel. I am warning you, if you go and check that out, every video was done on my phone. It was done on my phone. And I learned right then. It was a lot of motorcycle content. I rebuilt some carburetors for a Honda. We did some handlebars where we put new controls, new mirrors, the bar end lights. And then I had another video showing off the 2 motorcycles. We built storage bins for my 1CB. And it was so funny. The video that got the most traction, we took 2 Milwaukee boxes, and I made a custom rack to fit the boxes on the back side of the bike. And it was so funny looking with these 2 red Milwaukee boxes, but it worked really well because it had rubber seals, and they lifted up, and you could put jackets and stuff on it. And that video did pretty well. And then we did some tire things where I went through fire road tires. So I was looking for tires for the bike. I did that for a while, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then it was about a year later, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something with music. And that's how this channel was started, because I started doing, it's like, well, I was trying to find something other than my helicopters, if that makes sense. And I really wasn't playing music that much of the time. I was just starting to get back into playing when I was doing the motorcycle content. And I had to make a decision. And even motorcycle content, I think, would be better than guitar content as far as viewership. The guitar tube is difficult. It really is. I think I'm really fortunate. Some of you guys have said that I have a voice. I guess I have a voice made for radio. Hopefully I don't have a face made for radio. Hopefully I'm not that bad looking to where you guys can stare at me for a couple hours. I think the voice has a lot to do with it. And I never thought I had a decent voice. And Mikey asked at the beginning of the string, is that Avery singing? If Avery was going to sing, Avery would have to stop smoking again. I like singing, and I was a decent backup vocalist, just like I was a decent backup guitarist. I never considered myself talented enough to be the lead guitar player, and I was definitely not talented enough to be the front man. But I did really well at backup vocals. That's one of the reasons why a lot of bands would take me in, because not only could I play guitar, I could play drums, I could play bass, and I could play guitar. So if a member was sick, I could do fill-in, and I was a decent backup vocalist. So it really helped. You know, even though I wasn't blistering fast and I wasn't perfect on guitar, I filled other voids that the band needed. I was also a really good sound guy. So I ran the sound and played in a lot of bands. In smaller venues, I was the sound guy. And that was the main reason for my wireless system. That way I could get off the stage, walk around and play and check the sound. It was a fiasco in sometimes. But I was doing multiple roles. That's how I got where I was, acceptable, if that makes sense. But back to the guitar. So I want to play this guitar. I want you guys to hear it now that it's done. But you got to look at it. It's a really pretty little guitar. Guys, this is not a new guitar. It does have a ding here and a ding there, and it's got a couple little dings on the back. It's got a little spot right here, a couple little scratches there. But all in all, for the vintage guitar that this thing is, it's in phenomenal shape. This guitar is not a new guitar by any means. So Steven took really good care of this guitar. I mean,
Mikey and Timmy would like to see the drummer in you.
I do have a electric drum set downstairs. Maybe if you guys go back and watch some of the earlier reviews, the drum set used to sit right there. There's a drum set in the room. When I'm doing guitar content, the original videos, you have to go back the first year that I did reviews, a lot of budget guitars, and you'll notice there's a drum set sitting there, and there's a keyboard next to the window. That wasn't my keyboard at the time, and that wasn't my drum set. That was Little One's. She's not really playing anymore, so the drum set's downstairs. So I love drums. I love playing keyboards, but my keyboard is over there and hasn't been set up since I got the wing rack. It's taken up all the desk room. So I need to do some rearranging and get my equipment set back up. It's like having your favorite guitar torn down and you can't play it, but yet it's still sitting there and it reminds you, hey, you're not playing me because you're not getting stuff done to where you can plug me in and play me. And that's what that stuff's doing. I can lose myself playing keyboard, sitting here. I still have my keyboard charts up on the wall here. Let me change. Oh, look. Let me make sure this camera is up. No, hold on, guys, for 1 second. It wasn't charged before the stream. So let me turn that camera on. And let's see if the software finds it. May have to exit out. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll reboot the software for the wireless camera. Okay, it sees it. Now, when I switch cameras, you're not going to see a picture for a second. I have to tell it which camera. So hold on for a second. And you can see right there, did you see how it changed colors? It's auto locking the color. So I don't even remember why I switched cameras now.
Your keyboard poster thing.
Oh, right there. You can kind of see the keyboard poster up on the wall. And there used to be another one right here, and I took that one down. So I really do enjoy, and, you know, it's not just when I look at the keyboard poster, I could see guitar chording. And that's just me, because I used to always write on the keyboard. I didn't write too much on the guitar. I would write on the keyboard and transpose it to guitar. So now when I look at the key structure up there, the map, I can literally see the guitar structure overlaid it, you know, over top of that. If that makes any sense. It was so many years of me doing it, I can kind of see it. I'm like, okay, that's a G7. And I can see the highlighted parts on the piano, and I'm kind of like, okay. I can't do that all the time, but I can. I'm more comfortable looking at the keyboard pattern than a guitar pattern. And I know that makes no sense. To me, the keyboard just makes more sense, okay? Because it's one string, okay? So it kind of makes, does anyone else do that? Or is it just me? I just find the keyboard just makes more sense when I'm doing music theory and writing something. And I don't go too far with that because I am a field player. I think you can sit and write something and it can be musically correct and still, it might sound great, but it just doesn't really have a lot of feel. So I'll take that, whatever it is that I've wrote, and I'll play it for a little while, and then I'll embellish it, and I'll add what I feel it needs, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of doing both. You guys let me know how you guys write. That's just how I write. I find it easier for me that way. What's the old saying? If you know the rules, then you can go outside the rules. So if I write it to the rules and I learn it, I play it, and then I start bending the rules. Yeah, if, you know, it may be musically correct, but after I'm done with it, it's not technically musically correct, but I enjoy playing it more. Now, I think if you start analyzing a lot of music, I think you might find the exact same scenario. So let's play this guitar. Oh, before we play the guitar, Brian is here. You can notice I need two knobs, okay? And these are CTS pots. So I am going to switch camera angles here. Yeah. So let's look here. So here's the first knob that I see. This is a 24 spline. So if you're using CTS pots, you need to use a 24 spline pot. So this is just a basic chrome pot. And this little part up here is white. Okay. And if you look at the inlays on the guitar, they're kind of white. All right. There's a little color in some of them, but they're more on the white side. There's more color in the Washburn. See how the Washburn turns blue and green and stuff? So they have basically the same knob. It's a little fancier. So let's look at the next knob. The next knob, if we close that, I go to this one. The next knob has this little detail on the top. And I think it's cool. And I think that might match the Washburn logo a little bit more with all the blues and greens and stuff that's going on the Washburn logo. So you got that knob. And then we have the basic knob. So that's both of them. So this has got the white top on it without the little grooves cut right here. This one's got two little grooves and the fancier cap. Now, we can just do a basic chrome. They do have one that's just chrome on the top. So I guess that's up to Brian on which one he prefers, and I will get that on order tonight. Let's look real quick. When does it say? So that says Wednesday, March 18th. The white one says between March 25th and April 3rd. So, that might be a deal breaker right there. Let me open up the chat window. Let's see what you guys are actually saying on that. Which one do you guys prefer?
They're talking about knob size and looking at your knobs.
Which one do you guys prefer? The white one seems to be out. Lord only knows when that would be there. The one with the colored top I kind of like. Let's see. Let me see if they've got just a silver. What is it? It's 24 spline chrome. All right, let's go back to this window. So this is just the chrome top. And this is the white one. Okay. Now this one's more squared off at the top. You know, I kind of like the curved edge. It's not as abrupt, if that makes sense. And then this one. So those are the ones I found. If I had to pick, let's see how, yeah, this says Thursday, March 19th. So this would be a good choice. And this one says March 18th. But I'm not seeing the one with the white top. Yeah, see, this is saying March 25th to April 3rd. That always worries me when I see that. Because it may be here pretty quick, and then again, it may not be here pretty quick. The rest of these are pretty elaborate, and that's all they have in that actually say 24 spline. I've ordered other knobs, and they say fit CTS, but it doesn't say 24 spline. It needs to say 24 spline. That way you know it fits. So we got the basic chrome one here with the chamfered top. And then this one has a chamfered top too with the fancier little top. And then they've got the really squared off one.
Devastator said it's Brian's choice. Vox said color top all the way. Jupe said on the Washburn the white would look better, but that's just him. Kurt said the plain chrome to match the bridge and tuners.
Yeah. I'm kind of stuck between now that I see them, the plain chrome or the one with the really colorful top.
Brian hasn't said anything yet, so maybe he's not in the chat right now.
Okay, well, he was in here earlier. I know he was in here earlier. Maybe he's taking a break. Okay. Well, we'll leave it up to Brian on which one he wants. I kind of think the white would be okay because of the inlay dots. They're kind of plain, but the Washburn logo. See how it changes? It's got the blues and the greens. See that?
Mikey said clear. Brian said do the plain chrome.
Plain chrome. Okay. We will order plain chrome. Now you want the plain chrome with the little bit of a swoop in it, or the squared off one? There was two different ones. So let's go back. So this one's kind of rounded off, and this one's square. Yeah, right here. Rounded off, square. I kind of like the rounded off one myself.
Steve said Music Lily has chrome knobs delivered by Wednesday.
Yeah, that's who makes these, Music Lily. I like the Music Lily stuff. I've had really good luck with the Music Lily quality. You know, the knobs and stuff like that, they seem to be decent quality. I've used these right here before. I thought these were great, and they're inexpensive.
Brian said swoop.
This one. Okay. I'm going to add that to the cart. Go to my cart. So we are going to delete that one. Delete that one. And that's the one that's in the cart. So be here Thursday. So that means I can get it out to the mail to you this weekend. Okay. All right, now for what everyone wanted to hear, let's listen to the guitar. Up to our second position.
Timmy said out of tune or wrong note.
Yeah, it's probably wrong note. Let's check tune. These are brand new strings. I try not to lock the locker for a day, but I went ahead and locked the locker because the strings stretch. That's our second position, and you can hear the single coil quack.
Billy said Bright most likely needs an EQ change, and he also thinks that he heard buzzing.
Yeah, I've got the on this. If you flick it down. It depends on how you play it. There is a little buzz here or there. You can hear it. I set up most guitars that way. I've kind of gotten used to it. Most people want the lowest possible action, and this is the lowest possible action with the guitar before it starts really getting buzzy, if that makes sense. If I raised it, you know, I think right now, where are we at right now? Let's look at it. So if you raise it a little bit, you can definitely get that out. Everything's a compromise, guys. I hear that, oh, it's buzzing. It's really hard to get low action with no buzz. So right now we are set at 0.07 on the low E, and the high E is set to 0.065, okay? So if you raised it to like 0.075, I think that would go away. It depends. It's up to Brian. If he wants me to raise it, I can raise it a little bit and get a little bit more of that buzz out of it.
What is that in millimeters?
In millimeters. Let's It is right at 2 millimeters on the low E. On the high E, let's say like 1.6, something like that. 1.5 on the high E, millimeters. It's not crazy high and it's not crazy low. I find if I don't know the person, you know, 0.07, 0.075, that's a pretty comfortable. A lot of manufacturers send guitars out at 0.075 and 0.065. on the high E, even 0.07 on the high E. This is very comfortable, if that makes sense. For me, I could play it just fine, raising it up a little bit more. Something else that you got to remember, guys, on a floating bridge, you have to keep your bridge parallel. Your action height will change on your float rose if it comes back. Okay, if this part of your bridge, okay, is back in the guitar, your action height will go down.
Brian,
It will lower the action height. If the back of the tremolo is up out of the body, that will increase the action height.
Brian said you can leave it there.
Yeah. You don't want to go super low, okay? It's not a fixed tail. So you can get a fixed tail right and it'll stay there. With a floating bridge, it's a lot more work, okay? You've got to keep this parallel to the body to keep your action height the same. So as you start tightening the strings here, okay, the bridge starts to raise, and that increases your action height. You put another set of strings on it, and the tension might be a little different, and then the back of the tremolo sets down just a little bit. Now your action heights went down a little bit. That's why I always tell people, when you put strings on it, let it set for a day. Let the strings stretch, bring it back in tune, get your tremolo parallel, okay? Because that's where it was set up at. Get it parallel, lock everything down, and then check it. But if it starts feeling like the action's getting high, look down at your bridge and make sure that bridge is still parallel to the body. It could be going up. As I push down on the bar, I can see the string action height increasing on the guitar. If I pull up on the bridge, I can see the string action height decreasing on the guitar. Right now, it's almost perfectly parallel. I think it's leaned forward just a little bit. Just a little bit. If I turn the screws maybe an eighth of a turn on the backside, the bridge would come back. That might take, maybe 0.1 millimeters out of it. I know you're like, well, it's 0.1 millimeter. Every little adjustment makes a difference. It really does.
Does that neck have any relief, or is it flat?
It's almost flat. Hold on. I did not check it today, but the last time I checked it, it was almost flat. It's perfectly straight. It might be 0.1 millimeters, but it's perfectly straight.
Vox said so you could play with action height by increasing the spring tension?
Yeah. The tremolo should be, the base of the tremolo should be parallel to the body. That's where you want it to be. Because as you pull up and down, that changes your action height. And the string needs room in both directions. That's why if you look at these shred guitar players, they've got their action slammed. And you'll hear it. They'll hit a, let's watch. Let's say they, when they do that, the note goes, that means the action on their guitar is slammed to the point where if they pull up, it chokes the note off. Because as you pull up, the action height on your guitar will go down. The further the saddle back is from the fulcrum point, the worse that problem becomes. The Floyd Rose is bad for that. And a lot of that, I'm not going to blame all of it. I'm not going to blame all of it on Floyd Rose. Sometimes you've got adjustment room here. You've got 3 holes. If you look at a Floyd Rose, and a lot of these saddles are back in the 3rd position, 3rd hole position, that means the manufacturer has these post locations too far back. They could actually move that forward, 3 millimeters and probably still be okay. Okay? You kind of want, where the sweet spot would be if you had one bridge or 2 of the saddles on the 1st bolt hole and the rest of them in the 2nd. You're not, there's really not I've never seen a guitar, a Floyd, where all the saddles screws went in the 1st position. Usually your E saddle will sit back and your D saddle sits back just a little bit. So if you can push them forward that way and you get these 2 holes bored properly, it will do that less. It's because of where the archover is on the screw in relation to the fulcrum. The more you push those saddles back, the worse that problem becomes on a Floyd Rose. The Floyd Rose, it was a very basic design. And guys, you have to look at everything in the past. Which one, Beta or VHS? VHS. Which was better? Beta by far. Which was better? Blu-ray or HD DVD or movie disc? Movie disc by far. Which was better? DAT or compact digital cassette, DCC? DAT. It's far better. Which one? DCC. But by the time DCC come out, nobody wanted it. Floyd Rose was a cheaper product. It was cheaper to make, cheaper to manufacture, and he was willing to sub it out to other companies. Kahler, on the other hand, had a little bit better design, but he manufactured themselves. There was more moving parts. It was more labor intensive to make, made the product more. So manufacturers went to the lesser expensive product that worked well, and that was the Floyd Rose. The design really isn't that good. It really isn't. They've made some improvements over the years, but it's still not really a good design. And it's due to the fulcrum location and the way it works. There's a bunch of other tremolos on the market that I feel work a lot better, but they're just so expensive. And they're expensive because there's a lot of components to them, and they're more complicated. The advantage to the Floyd Rose, it's a very simple tremolo. It's easy to manufacture. That keeps the cost down. Another advantage to the Floyd Rose is, since it is a cost-effective, simple design, everyone makes a version of it. That, again, keeps the cost down. So it's really hard for another company to come out with a better bridge or something that's going to work better that'll even come close to the price point on this bridge, or have the backup as far as aftermarket parts. It's such a simple design. There's so many people that make aftermarket parts for this that are a little bit better. So if you go out and buy a Sophia, you're not going on Amazon and getting an upgraded block for it. You're not getting a new saddle for it. You're not. You're not buying a Kahler and getting on Amazon and getting an upgraded block or a tremolo bar, or you're just not. There all the other companies that are out there. What was the name of that tremolo that stays in tune when you bend it? There's a tremolo company. I think it's in Sweden or something. I want to get one. It's like $600 or $700. They make 2 versions. The one's a little cheaper. It's like $400. But let's pretend I hit a chord. Now I want you to listen to how out of tune this chord becomes. That's awful. And I'm not picking on Floyd Rose.
Kurt said,
if I play my Kaler, it's going to do the same thing.
Kurt said Evertune.
It's not Evertune. Evertune goes out of tune when you when you play with it. There's only one company that makes one. It's got a series of rollers, and the string goes through the rollers, and it's compensating it's doing voodoo magic. That's what it's doing. So if you're familiar with the keyboard, go up to your keyboard and play an A, and then take your pitch wheel, and now decrease it. So the whole note goes down in pitch evenly, and it's the progression of the notes stay in tune with one another. Okay, that's what that other tremolo does. I forget the name of it, but listen, when you bend it, here's your E. It's in tune. Now use your bar. It's quite awful. And the reason it does that is the issue between the fulcrum point and the saddle location. They're like, well, all you got to do is move the saddles over top of the fulcrum. It's not that easy because every one of these saddles are in a different location. Make sense? So the distance between here and the nut on every one of these strings is different. So you have to compensate. You have to compensate the pitch change on every string. Every string has to work independently of itself and move independently to the other strings to stay in perfect pitch. It's a pretty sounding chord. Now it's not. That's why you see a lot of jazz players when they do use it, they just they're only going to do just a little bit because if they do more, the tuning goes way out on the note.
Jupe said Matrim.
Matrim. That might be it. They have two versions. They have a simpler version. It's got a series of rollers back here, and the string goes over the rollers, and then where it comes over the saddle, that's a roller as well. So they've compensated the second roller. Okay, as you set the intonation, that roller changes its position from the roller on the intonation. So someone sat down and figured out the difference. 1 cent, 2 cent, whatever that difference is between the strings, someone has mathematically figured out the points to make that string work congruently and keep the guitar in tune.
Penagore said Tremoline.
Tremoline. That doesn't sound familiar. I'm trying to think. I saw it over a year ago, and I mentioned it once before. What's the guy with the funny glasses and the weird hairdo? Guitar Geek. He's over in the UK. He did a video last week about the tremolo system again. It's not getting any traction. I think it was not this year's NAMM, but last year's NAMM. A couple of artists played with it at NAMM. They were at NAMM again this year. I happened to see, I'm pretty sure it was Guitar Geek over in the UK, had one. And even he was sitting there saying it's complicated. And it was giving him an ice cream headache just putting strings on it. I don't know if the guy's a decent guitar tech or not. It can't be that complicated, but when he went from the more simpler one to the more complicated version, because you can pull that tremolo out and put the other one in, he come back on and said it's a nightmare. But once you figure it out, it's not too bad. But he made it quite known that he struggled getting this bridge set up in the guitar. So I've never played with it. I'm sure there's some engineering going on there. And anything of that nature, if you don't set it up right, it isn't going to work right.
Is it the trans trim?
You know, you guys are going to make me go back and find it.
I'm looking at the video and looking at comments, so I'm asking.
I don't know. Let me go to my history, because I haven't watched that much stuff since then. Well, maybe I have. I was watching van stuff this morning. Actually, I guess I have watched a lot of YouTube. I'm going back. I don't know if I can post a link to this or not.
Billy said, Avery, does that system use
Unlock incredible deals and explore the best selection of musical equipment at Sweetwater. From stage to studio and everything in between, Sweetwater has everything you need to take your sound to the next level.
I can't play his video, guys, but I should be able to at least post a link to his video.
Okay, well, Jupe said Guitar Geek is the guy that did a video on the May trim.
This is the link to the video, guys.
And Billy...
So when you guys go there and you watch the video, please make a post on his channel that I sent you guys there. I'm sure he doesn't know me, but at least at that point, the name of the channel gets out a little bit more.
Billy said, does that system use a nut roller as well? If so, you need to get the nut right. You have to cut the fretboard more on the nut or you screw up the tone.
Yeah, those ball-bearing nuts, you can't just slap them on the guitar, because a regular nut comes all the way up to the sleeve right here, okay? So if you look at you have a radius, okay? The string goes over that radius. Where it leaves the radius is called the tangent. That tangent point is no longer out here on the end, okay? The tangent is half the distance of the total diameter. The diameter, let's say it's 10 millimeters, so your tangent would be 5. Well, if it sets back, if the edge of that roller set, the center of that roller has to be right where the edge of your fretboard is now, okay? Because it's a roller. Most people don't do that, and then their first fretted note's all screwed up. So it's not a, putting one of those on your guitar, it's not a direct swap. And it's definitely not something that, unless you have proper tooling, that you want to take on. Could you fix it if you went too far and you cut your neck back, and now you've moved too far this way, okay? And you get your 12th right, and this is right, and now your first fretted note's way off. You could move the nut back, okay, and put shims between the fingerboard and here, but you really want to get that right the first time, okay? And that's something, trial and error, okay? Once you do a couple and you start getting a feel for it, I'm sure it becomes easier and easier. But to get that right on the very first go, that would be challenging.
Kurt said the May trim is $700.
Yeah, I'm sure it's expensive. Johnny Bean's like, yeah, I was just playing the video and picked up the ad and it stopped it before the video started playing.
That's because Vox said anyone else just hear an ad in the background.
Yeah, I don't know there shouldn't be. That was me doing the Sweetwater thing. I was trying to get a link to that video that what's his name put up over in the UK, and before I could copy it, a Sweetwater ad come up. I don't think I'll get a copyright strike or anything. It's a YouTube commercial anyway. So YouTube got a free commercial in the middle of my stream that I guess they can't make any money on. That might upset them. Hey, Johnny. That's what happened. But go over there, check out the Tremolo. I like his channel. I think he does pretty good stuff. He does it full time. That's his living. So keep that in mind. But I think the product itself is cool if you want to spend that kind of money. If playing a note and you want to use your tremolo, that's nowhere near in tune. Each string is changing pitch differently. So It isn't staying in proper pitch as it goes down. That tremolo will. That is a game changer, guys. And it's not just him saying it, I'm saying it. That's a game changer. Once that company, there's always time, okay, for someone to tear that tremolo apart, kind of look at it and go, okay, what makes this tick? Is there a way we can do this and simplify it, just like the Floyd Rose? Is there a way we can make this cheaper, mass produce it, and get this price point down, and it still do the same thing? You know, it could be like German engineering. They've over-engineered it. Someone's going to look at it and go, they don't need to do all this. We can do this and it'll accomplish the same thing. If someone looks at that and they get a brainstorm and they figure out a way of simplifying it, then you'll see it. If that is the simplest way, then everything will have to be licensed to that company that come up with it, or you're going to have to wait 20 years. Usually most patents go 20 years, and then it becomes public domain. I think it would be cool, because I like using the tremolo. But you notice I'm only hitting one note. So that's why I was saying the guitar players that would no longer have that weird, if I come down, I go. The reason that sounds so crappy is because as I move the bar, the chord is not staying in proper pitch. And that's why you hear a lot of jazz players, they just barely move the bar. With that tremolo, you could do anything you wanted to do, and it's going to stay in pitch. Like I said, I don't know the company, don't know anything about them, get no royalties, don't know the guy that I just sent you his link to his page. I just kind of watch his content. And like I said, he does it for a living, so he's depending on clicks and stuff to make money. You know, you guys should understand that's how the game is played. So go check out that video if you want to spend $700 on a bridge. You know, if I was going to spend $700 on a bridge, I think I would contact Dave Kaler and just have him make me another 2700 killer. I've been playing 30-some years with a standard tremolo, and it hasn't bugged me too much. But I can see where that would be, you know, something awesome. Especially if you're playing that kind of music. That would just be a phenomenal thing. It's new technology. Hopefully we'll see the price come down, and hopefully we'll see other companies that can implement something similar to that to get that cost down to where the average players like us will be able to capitalize on it.
Backwoods Billy says, I will stick with what I know. Floyd Rose, hip shot style, fixed bridge. I believe that there will be issues with the new system.
Well, there's issues with the Floyd Rose. That's the easiest. I'm not a Floyd Rose person. I think the Floyd Rose just has... Could it be better? Yes. When you say Floyd Rose, there's something about a Floyd Rose. You know, if you were brought up on a Floyd Rose, you might like them. It's just, for me, the Kaler Killer was just a far better bridge. It was. It was more expensive, but it was a better bridge. Floyd Rose, I guess what I dislike about Floyd Rose is it's become a generic name. So people go, oh, I got a Floyd Rose, and they've got a Chinese copy. Or they've got the Ibanez, where they've licensed it and they've made their own creation. Or it's a Jackson. Jackson had their own version of the Floyd Rose for years. It was a horrible bridge. So it's really, I think it's more of that than anything. I hear the term Floyd Rose, and it's like, well, is it a Floyd Rose? Because the design itself is simple. So these companies, they turn around and they make cheap posts and a cheap plate, and they put on there, it's Floyd Rose licensed. And Floyd Rose accepts it. He doesn't care. Whoever owns or gets the money from that on the licensing, they don't care as long as they get a check. They don't care if it's a POS or if you're building a high quality bridge, as long as you pay them. And at some point, I would think Floyd Rose would go, you're kind of messing up my name. And I say that because of this new Floyd Rose with the screen print on it. That thing's a piece of junk. I mean, that bridge is just as, well, it is. It's a cheap Chinese bridge that I guess they just said, okay, we're going to pay whatever Floyd Rose royalty is per unit just to put the name on it. That, to me, that takes them down a notch. I will give Dave Kaler one thing. He's never, ever, ever subbed out his product, and he claims he never will. He tries to do the best that he can possibly machine and make at a price point. That doesn't mean that every product he's made has been great. They had some cam bridges that had a lot of problems with the cams and some of the saddles in them. They did make it right and made a better part, but they lowered the quality of the metal they were using, okay? And they tried to make a bridge at a price point, and it come back and bit them in the butt. Floyd Rose has just done that a lot more. A lot more. And I hear it now with the new Floyd Rose stuff made here in America. I told you guys, don't buy one. Anytime a company retools and moves, let the guinea pigs buy the product and let them work it out. It's like buying a first-year production car. Never, ever, ever, ever buy a first year of anything, even if Toyota makes it. Don't. There's going to be problems. Let the test durables figure it out and let them figure out what's wrong with the car. Maybe the second year, maybe the third year. You're usually better off waiting 3 or 4 years before they do a fascia change, then buy that particular car. They've got some of the bugs worked out of it. Just going by what I heard, anytime you set up new tools, I don't care if you have Haas machines, there's a learning curve.
Is it Vox time?
It is getting close to Vox time. Just keep that in mind, guys. We work hard for our money, and I'll be honest with you, this channel makes no money, and the reason it makes no money is because I tell you the truth. Do I have an issue with Floyd Rose in general? I don't. I don't have an issue with Kaler. I don't have an issue with the bridge company I don't have an issue with Wilkinson. But I tell you guys up front, just because it says Wilkinson, don't expect it to be a good product. Don't. When you see these Wilkinson bridges on these budget guitars, they're factory seconds or they're low-grade Wilkinsons, and they're paying Wilkinson a percentage for royalties to put their name on it. Wilkinson makes some crap products too. They do. But they also make some nice stuff. So don't let Wilkinson or Floyd Rose, these companies are known for that. The only companies I can't really say don't, Seymour Duncan, DiMarzio, they don't lower their standards. They're like, no, we're not going to make that pickup. If you want something that cheap, there's 50,000 other pickup manufacturers out there that will build you a inferior product. DiMarzio and Seymour Duncan really hold to their guns and go, if we're going to make it, this is as cheap as we'll do it. Now, if someone has another example of that, let me know. Okay? I will qualify what I just said. DiMarzio, okay, has let Ibanez take their pickup and make the Ibanez version. But notice Ibanez doesn't say anything about being DiMarzio designed.
Billy said Geiger hardware, best bang for the money.
I think Geiger's like Music Lily. I think they make some decent products, and some of it not so good. You got to keep in mind, there's a reason why it's a $40 or $50 tuner. I've put Geikers on stuff, and I think they're okay. I've also done some stuff, and they slip. So it really depends on what you get. You might get 5 really. This has happened to me twice with Geiger products. I get 5 good ones and 1 bad one in a box, where the locker unthreads or doesn't stay locked, or one just doesn't feel smooth. Okay?
Well, for a budget brand.
Yeah, it's a budget brand. So keep that in mind. If you get a set, you may get one that has an issue. We hope when we buy, let's say, Ratio or Hip Shot and companies like that, that they've looked through the product and you're less likely to have a problem. That doesn't mean that you won't. I've gotten Godos out of the box and it's just, well, it's a bad Godo. But that happens very rarely. If I look at the ratio between Hip Shot, Godo, and the other brands, far more problems with Geiger. Less problems with Music Lily. That's just what I've seen. The Music Lily stuff, from what I've used here at the shop, I've only had 1 set of Music Lily have a problem. Geiger's, it's 30%, something like that, give or take. So, not putting any company down. It's just you do get what you pay for. And here's another good way of looking at things. Everyone knows, I think, the sweet spot in guitars, and it keeps changing. 800, I'm going to say 800 to 1,000 now. At that price point, you're going to get everything that makes a really solid guitar. You should get full-size pots. You should get nice pickups. You should get nice tuners. It should come with a nice bridge. After you pass that $1,000 point, for dollars spent, you get less and less and less and less and less. When you hit the $2,000 price point, you even get less per dollar spent. So when you buy a sub $500 instrument, that's why I like them so much. If you can find a $400 or $450 guitar that has good tuners on it, good decent pickups, a decent bridge, I'm ecstatic with it because that's a good solid buy. What I'm saying is to get the average down to where good product is outweighing the bad product, I think you at least need to get at least in the $700 to $1,000 range. And I know that sounds bad, but again, we're talking ratios to get over the point where, no, it's not just 1 or 2. And I've pointed out like the Sire Y5. I think that was probably a heck of a guitar. Right now it's on sale for $499. That's probably a heck of a guitar for $499. We're not talking about inclusions. We're talking about an average. On average, $700 to $1,000, and you can get a very solid guitar. That doesn't mean that you can't get a solid guitar at $300, $350, $400, $400. We've proven it on the channel. You can, but you can also get a really bad one. The odds of that bad one go way up when you start buying the super fast production made guitars. They're fast guitars. That's what they are. Okay, guys, we're going to take our Vox break. And when we come back, I want to go through some of the sounds on this guitar. It does still have its stock pickups, but like I said, we put new electronics on it. We dressed up the frets on it, cleaned up all the frets, cleaned up the fretboard, reworked the back of the neck on this guitar, and put some new tuners on it for him. And this was our guitar giveaway. So Brian is in the chat right now. We're going to get this guitar out to him next weekend. I'm going to order the knobs as soon as the stream's over. So as soon as the stream's over, I'll order the knobs. When they come in, we'll put the knobs on it. And hopefully this guitar will get many, many, many years of play. The guitar needs to be played. And that's what Steven wanted. It wasn't getting used. He wanted someone that was going to take this guitar and play it, you know. And we fixed the issues that the guitar had. So it's going to make Brian a heck of a guitar. All right, guys, we're going to take our 5-minute break. If you're not familiar with this channel, please go down and hit the like button and consider subscribing. We give a guitar away every month or every 2 months, something like that. And this was a guitar giveaway. It was donated to the channel. I did some repairs on it. We gave the guitar away. Next month, we have our next guitar giveaway. All you have to be is publicly subscribe to the channel and then go to Discord and say, I want in on the giveaway. And next month's guitar giveaway is going to be awesome. It's a cool guitar. You guys are going to like it. So stay tuned for that. And again, go down, hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe. There's a ton of tutorial videos on this channel on doing fretwork, fixing bowed necks, changing tuners, changing electronics, hot rodding Floyd Rose bridges, doing all kinds of different stuff. And your all's opinion is just like mine, just like Backwards Billy posted his thoughts on Geiger. Okay, we need that. Okay, if someone comes in and gives them their experience on products that they're buying, that's what I want you guys to do. Okay, I said I've had some bad experiences. It's about 33% of the time with Geiger I have issues. Music Lily, I'm a little bit better. But if you guys keep posting, well, I bought Geiger and I've never had a problem. I bought Geiger and I've never had a problem. That's a ratio. And that's what we need to know. We need to know how consistent are these companies that are giving us the good buys. Believe me, I work on guitars. If I can save $15 for someone that comes in that drops off a guitar, and I know I can order a Geiger product, and I can depend on that product being good, I'll install it. But I have to know that product's going to be good. Someone drops off a guitar, and I say, well, I can get you these nice tuners for $40, and I put them on there, and 6 months later, they come back. I've got to take the guitar apart, put new tuners on it, and I don't care if the tuner is warranted for life. Okay?
Jupe said
I've lost money because I've got to reinstall tuners. Yeah.
Jupe said, Avery, are you giving away Linnell's Chapman guitar next week?
Well, Jupe, you can talk to Linnell about doing the Chapman on the giveaway, but I'm pretty sure that she may not go for that. But I'll leave that up for the comments section as we take a break. But the guitar we're giving away next month, guys, it's a cool guitar. It really is. I like the guitar, and we're going to do a little bit of a fret dressing on it, and we're going to pretty much leave the guitar stock. I just want to do a little bit of fret dressing on the guitar to take it really to the next level, and that's really all that guitar. Well, it doesn't even need that. It is a budget guitar, but it is a cool budget guitar. It is definitely what I call a budget guitar killer. I would buy this guitar over any Leo James, any West Creek, or any other budget brand. And wait till you guys see it. It's just a phenomenal entrant guitar for its asking price. So hopefully we'll have it here next weekend, and I can unveil it on Saturday's stream. All right, guys, 5-minute break. If you haven't, like I said, go down, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, all that neat stuff, and subscribe. We are trying to grow this channel. So if you guys know someone that's into this kind of content, talking about music stuff, okay, I'm not the end verdict, if that makes sense. That's what the chat's for. And I love it when you guys post your thoughts. That's what we need. That's what makes this channel different, because I look at what Backwards Billy says. I look at what CD says. I look at what Devastator says. I look at what Kurt says. I pay attention to these people because they're musicians just like me. They're modifying guitars. They're working on guitars. They have experience with that product. That information is valuable to me, and it should be valuable to you if you're thinking about doing that work. That's what makes the channel different. All right, guys, 5-minute break, and we'll be right back. Yeah, guys, 100%. Stephen, what he did, that's what helps the channel. You know, if you guys have a guitar laying around and you're not playing it, or maybe the tuner's broke or the bridge is broken, you can send it here. Say, hey, Avery, I got a guitar that I used to play. This is wrong with it, or that's wrong with it, or maybe there's nothing wrong with it. And you're just like, hey, you want to use this guitar for the guitar giveaway? We will do what we did to this one and make sure that it's a good, solid playing instrument, okay? And do a giveaway on it. It doesn't have to be a new guitar, okay? This guitar now has a new lease on life. You know, it has a new lease. That's how I'm looking at it. It's one more saved guitar that's going to get some playtime. It's not going to sit in the corner. It's going to get some playtime. It's going to go and get played. That's what it was made to do. So if you all have something like that and you want to donate it to the channel, it will be given away. And I will do the work on the guitar, just like I did this one, and we'll get it right. The back of the neck on this guitar now is, it's pretty awesome. Just feeling the frets and stuff going down the side. I worked on all the end dressings right here. So when you feel the neck on this guitar, it feels like a $1,500 guitar. You know, I love, you know, if you guys do work on guitars, there's a material called Tried and True, and I talk about it all the time. It's a hand rub finish. Get the polyurethane off the back of your neck, okay? Get it down to like a 2000 grit and put a coat of Tried and True on it. Let it sit up for a day, 2 days. Go back over it with some 2000 grit. Put another coat on it, okay? Then hit it again, and then put another coat on it. And that third coat, okay, when it hardens, you want to go back over it with a microfiber cloth. And you want to kind of go like this with that microfiber cloth, okay? And really rub that top. It'll get a waxy feel to it sometimes, especially when you go to 3 coats. It says in the can, 2 cans, 3 coats max. Remember, you're sanding between coats with 2000 grit. So by doing 3 coats and lightly sanding between your coats, you're going to end up with 2 coats. So technically, you could put a 4th coat on it if you're sanding between coats. And I'm not too sure why the manufacturer says a maximum of 3 coats. It's probably due to after 3 coats, you're not going to get any penetration. And now you're just building up finish. And everyone knows when you build up the finish on the guitar, it prevents the guitar from resonating. The thinner you can get your finish on your guitar, the better off you are. I see a lot of people that do great finish work on guitars. How thick is the finish? That's the trick. If that guitar is prepped properly, you should have a very thin primer coat, okay? And to get a thin finish, I would tint my primer coat to my base color. That way I don't need to spray a base color. My primer coat is my base. Then I'm going to shoot my color on it, and that color needs to be thin. And I'm going to shoot 2 coats of clear on it. And that clear needs to be thin. The more you start to build up that finish, the less alive the guitar is going to be. I firmly believe that. I've heard the difference in these guitars with the epoxy, okay? They'll take burl and they just lay the burl out in a slab and they pour epoxy. There's just something about, I've never played a river guitar where it's 2 pieces of wood split with the epoxy, or epoxy top where it's, now we're not talking about like what Schecter does where they just put the epoxy in the little holes of the burl. We're talking about where it's separated and there's actually like 2 and 3 inches of epoxy, okay? I have never played one of those guitars, even with great pickups on it, that I really thought sounded great. Maybe I've just played all bad ones. You guys can comment on that one too. Have you played these epoxy type guitars where they're using chunks of wood and it's all epoxied together, okay, like a river table? Have you played one of those and experienced the exact same thing that I have? And I think that's just due to how the two dissimilar materials resonate together, if that makes sense. So I think by doing it this way, it keeps the finish very thin, okay? But since it is a thin finish, okay, finish can wear off your necks. I can show you my PV and my Vandenberg on the back has black in it. I've worn through the finish by playing it over the years, and the sweat has turned the wood black in a couple spots. If you don't want that to take place, you need to once a year go over the back of the neck, or maybe it depends on how much you play it. If you play it a lot, maybe once a year, go over it with some 2000 grit and put one more coat of tried and true on it. Believe me, you can't mess it up. It's a very forgiving finish. Put it on there, let it harden. What I tell people is just a dab. Rub it in and keep rubbing it until it's no longer wet. Wait a day, come back and rub it. That's it. And you'll never, unless you're playing like professionally every night, I don't see you rubbing through that in a year, if that makes sense. And that would keep the back of the neck really, really, really nice and really, really smooth. And you'll know, you'll start to feel it, okay? And there's also something to be said about the exact opposite. If you got raw wood, the oils on your hands soak into it, and that creates a whole nother level of guitar too. It does. A lot of these older guitars, the finish is worn off, and it's from years of playing. The oils on your hand soaks into the neck. You can't emulate that. You can't fake that. You can't. It just does something to the instrument. Just like a guitar that has been played and played and played and played and played and played and played, and then when you thought you were done playing, it was played more. Those guitars just have something about it. You can say it's from the vibration or the resonation of the wood, loosens the wood fibers. There's all kinds of different thoughts on what's going on there. But there's a reason why guitars that have been just played just have a warm sound to them, okay? There's also a reason why when people have really nice acoustics and they do a repair on them, after the repair, the guitar never quite sounds the same, okay? That's why when you say, tell people, it's like, well, I really like the way the guitar sounds, but I want to do this. Watch what you do, because it can affect how the guitar works. You know, if you're going to refinish your guitar, I can guarantee you it's going to change the sound on it. Watch how much finish you put on it. And that doesn't mean that you can't. You can do it. There's, I forget, there was a guitar, was it Schecter? It was either a Schecter, I don't remember what it was. But I deliberately went inside the cavity and ate into the finish a little bit, and there was a tremendous amount of finish on that guitar. I don't remember if it was a Schecter or a Jackson. I just can't remember. There's quite a bit of finish on the Ibanez Jim, because I had to repair the neck pocket on Brian's at Searching for Tone. There was a chip in there, and I was surprised at the bass color. Well, I guess not. It's a. Oh, let me get it. I'll get the guitar. I'll get Linnell's guitar. So here's the Ibanez Jim. And I cannot get the color to show up right on YouTube. This is a smack you in the face red-orange. It kind of looks pink in here, but believe me, it is much redder in person, and it is an obnoxious red. The bass color is white on this guitar. I would assume it would have been a white yellow, but Ibanez has chosen to use a white bass. Your bass color will affect your top color. So maybe using the white with their mix gives them this color. Like you're probably looking at, well, I can see the white with that color. I'm looking at my screen now. It's not the color that you guys see. It's much redder. When I see reds like that, I usually think, okay, they've probably used a tinted white and it has a little yellow in it. And that'll make the finish pop more. Your base color will create a finish. But I was really surprised at how much finish was on this guitar. There's a lot of finish on this guitar. So if you're one of those guys that think the thick finishes hurt the sound, this is probably one of the guitars you would play and go, there's a lot of finish on this guitar. I can tell by the way it resonates. And you can tell if you go back and look at the videos. I haven't done anything to this guitar, but I will tell you, if you go back and watch our 5 videos on how to make this a fantastic instrument, you can make this fretboard come to life. When I say come to life, this is Jatoba. And the other name for Jatoba, which more people are familiar with, is called Brazilian Cherry. But the true name of it is Jatoba. The Jatoba fingerboard and the Jatoba they're using, it's nice quality Jatoba. So if you rework this and you put 2 coats of tried and true on this Jatoba, oh my gosh, it's so much prettier. Go back and watch those. I did a whole series on taking this $550 guitar and just literally making it a playing monster. We didn't do anything with the pickups. We didn't do anything with the bridge. We didn't change the tuners. All we did was go through and do everything as well as we could possibly do it. We did the frets. We did the back of the neck. We treated the fingerboard. I went in and made sure the height of the nut was perfect to the first fret and the playing. Adjusted the bridge, made sure that was as good as I could get it. Fine-tuned everything on the guitar, and it was just a monster when it was done. But I like the pickups in it. I like the quantum pickups. So what I want to do to this guitar, I got a German Floyd Rose over there in the smoke chrome. So we're going to put that bridge in this guitar for Linnell. And I want to go through, Linnell needs a guitar that I've done. So I'm going to do basically the exact same thing to this guitar. We're going to do a double chamfered fret on it. We're going to make sure the frets are perfectly level and right. Do a really nice finish. Rework all this inlay work. There's spots on the inlays where they didn't quite get the filler right.
Blue Mock says, Avery, how good is the bridge, say, compared to a FR1000?
This bridge is holding tune, but I'm pretty sure Kurt in the chat, he's had one of these, and he said that he had some issues with his after time. If you go back and watch the review on the guitar, there's a couple posts saying after a year and a half, the bridge stopped returning to 0.
And Kurt said it's a Floyd Rose special, so not very good.
Yeah, it's softer metal, so you're probably going to have that issue. That's why we're going to put the German Floyd Rose on it. If I had the guitar, the problem is I haven't seen the Godot in this finish. So if you go with the black Godot, I would go with an FR1000 black nut and then change your tuners. I don't have an issue with the tuners. I don't have an issue with the locking nut. So if Godot makes a smoked chrome bridge, that would be the way to go. That would be far less than the German made. Mine's German Floyd Rose. It's not the 1000. It's before Schaller stopped making bridges for Floyd Rose. So that's a really good OG Floyd Rose. That's the Schaller OG. I think it's a great guitar. I just plugged it in. You know, that tells me she hasn't played it in a while. It was on the wall. mean, the fine tuners actually feel pretty good on this guitar. They're much more, it's a finer ratio than the Floyd. Like on the Floyd, if you turn it, I've noticed the thread pitch is much more aggressive. This is an extremely fine thread pitch. So I'm really turning it a lot, but it's making very little difference in the tuning. So you guys are going to have to get on Linnell. There's no reason why this guitar should be this far out of tune. She needs to play it more.
How rude.
Yep, she needs to play this thing. I don't have an issue with the sound on the guitar. I think it's a good platform.
You know, I have other guitars other than that one to play right.
I love rubbing it out on her. She's got a lot of guitars now, guys. I think she has more playable guitars than I have.
If they don't see you next stream, they know why.
That's what I find certain guitars just do better at certain things. The neck on this guitar, it's a good solid neck. It just, I can't, if someone knows the term, I can't, sometimes I'll play a guitar and it's not choking out. It's just not as effortless. This guitar is just more effortless to keep the note in sync. I know all the frets are straight, but it just seems like I'll have more problems bending a note on a guitar that even if the action is lower, okay, it's almost like it's fretting out. And what it is your finger is moving on the string and it starts to go over the fret a little bit and you lose the note. Certain guitars I don't have that issue with. And I'm don't really know why, but the neck on this guitar, I don't find myself doing that. This guitar needs to be played. The strings are stretching because no one's played it. Hear it? And again, when we demoed it, I didn't have any trouble, but I was playing it. This guitar, I don't know how long it's been sitting over there. Again, that could be proof. You might go, well, see, it's the bridge. I'm going to blame it more on not being played in the strings. Now, I'm a pretty aggressive player.
Keep it up.
I'm going to blame it on not being played. And the strings are stretching.
There'll be technical difficulties next week.
I don't have a technical difficulties window to put up as she comes in and beats me with the frying pan. I don't have an issue with the stock pickups. This would be a great guitar if you're in a variety band and you're playing that kind of music with the different settings. It's you've got a bunch of different sounds. You've got pickups, you know, they're decent pickups. The Ibanez, I think they're doing a good job. These pickups, and I think the cheapest model they have is like $400 with the Quantums. It's a good pickup. Are they the best pickups? No, they're not the best pickups. This is a budget instrument for Ibanez. This is Steve Vai's budget version. You know, they had to save money somewhere. This isn't the $2,000 Gem, and it's not the $4,000 Pia. It's a $550 Gem. So at that price point, I think there's just a lot of good things about the guitar. You buy this, put a decent bridge in it because everyone says the bridge causes issues. It's a solid player. Go out and play it. There's nothing else wrong with it. They rock and roll.
You need to go back to the Washburn, I believe.
I got to go back to the Washburn?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, isn't that what tonight's about? It's not about, well, now doesn't play guitar enough.
All right, let's hit the Washburn. Let's get some sounds on that. Love you, hon. You know, I think I'm going to have to buy me a futon for the living room. Just saying. But we're taking donations on guitars and futons. If you have a futon that you're wanting to give away, I might need one. You can instantly hear this guitar has a little bit more bottom end to it. It's got a little more butt. It has less push, but it has a little more butt. It's quite mean sounding. It's got a really nice feel to it. I mean, granted, that guitar is 100% stock. So now when I grab this guitar, the back of the neck feels better than the Gem. Okay, this right here feels better than the Gem because I've done a little work on the fret dressing on it. The back of the neck is smoother than the Gem. It's had a little work to it. Okay. I like the pickup. I really like this pickup in this guitar.
Steven said, Avery, glad you didn't change the humbucker.
Yeah, I like the pickup in this guitar. I like it just a little better, I think, than the Quantum that we just played. It's a little more fuller sounding. It does well. It has a nice note separation. I like it. It's got a good sound to it. So, Brian, gonna order the knobs for you. We'll get it out to the mail to you this weekend. This is all possible, guys, because of you all. The viewers make this possible for this channel. I didn't do any videos on the repair on this guitar. Our next repair, we are doing some videos on. That's, well, technically not the next one, because I got Jupe's guitar back up on the bench right now. Our next guitar is going to be the Iceman, and I'm going to do a couple little videos on that guitar, on putting the tuners on and doing some basic pickup stuff. I got to talk to Devastator on it, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do some pretty cool stuff to that one. So we're going to do that recording. He's probably going to have to do the exact same thing. I don't, unless he wants to keep the knobs. If he wants to keep the knobs, I will have to order some alpha pots. All the pots that I have downstairs are 24 spline. They're USA mic'd pots. So if he wants to keep the factory knobs, we're going to have to order some alphas. I can get the alpha pot to where the factory knobs will fit. So that'll be up to him. But wanted to get on tonight and show you guys the guitar since it's 100% done now.
Devastator said, "Do what you want, wiring wise."
Yeah, it's more about the knobs. If you want to keep the factory knobs, then I'll need to order some alpha pots for it. If you're going to do upgraded knobs, look, if you want to do that, the Barnes needs 24 spline. The Barnes is just like the CTS. So you'll need to find and I don't recommend the universal one. That's the one that had, so on some knobs it'll have a little slop and there's a set screw. The problem with those is when the set screw engages, it throws it off center. And my OCD kicks in because when I go to turn it, I feel the knob doing this. Because the set screw is pushing the knob one way or the other on the control. Is it much? No, it's very, very little. But I feel it when I turn the knob. So try to find something that fits properly. And it's okay if it's a 24 spline with a set screw, okay? Because the set screw, you want the set screw to hit in the groove. There's a groove on the knob, okay? That way, if it pushes into that groove, it has a tendency of separating it, and it makes it very tight. If you put the knob on and the set screw hits the flat spot, it collapses the end on the potentiometer and actually makes it looser, okay? So that's just a little tech tip for those that are having issues with it.
Jupe said, "Remember, Avery, Devastator wants you to sawzall off the lower horn of the Iceman."
I got it. I picked up the sparkle spray paint today to touch it up. Oh, you guys kill me. But you guys is what you all make the channel. That's the whole point in tonight's stream. I wanted to get on, show the guitar to Brian. He was the winner of the guitar. I want to thank everyone that entered. If you haven't won yet, just keep entering. We're going to try to do it every other month. It's difficult. Giving away a guitar is difficult, guys. Especially next month's guitar, the guitar before that one. The channel paid for that one.
Trucker Bob gave a super chat. He said, "Cold Heineken fun."
Thank you so much, Trucker Bob. That's what funds the channel. That's what allows me to get tuners and stuff to fix guitars for giveaways, or when we put money towards buying a guitar to give away.
Cole
and
just
it's
came.
also, Cole come in. That means everyone say hi to Cole. That means
He said, "Hi, everyone." He's in the shelter.
yeah, I kind of figured. Cole is in Israel, guys. So if you all need a live update, no USA News BS, ask Cole. He is in Israel right now, and he can tell you the no BS story of what's going on. And I want to say thank Yahweh that he is protecting him, and he's good, he's safe, and he has snuck out of the bunker to get connection to come in to say hi to us.
No, he's in the shelter. He said Wi-Fi's bad.
Oh, usually he comes outside. So that's good. At least he's still in the shelter. It's good to hear from you, man. We pray for you. At least I know I do. So it's good. We've I pray for Israel. We have to support Israel. So Cole was there. He can give you the update on what's going on there, guys. This is not a political show, but we're all human beings, okay? And we need to protect life. Life is a very important thing. And Cole is doing what he needs to do over there. It's a dangerous place right now. So we're all glad that he's okay. Back to the guitar giveaway stuff. We're going to try to do more. We do have a guitar giveaway coming up next month, and we're going to have some tech videos coming up. Like I said, we're going to be doing some pickup replacement. And I actually have my RGA that I want to work on. So we might do some light content on that. So while my RGA is down, you guys can pick on me. I'll probably play Linnell's Blue RGA. So maybe I can stretch my repair out for several months. That way I can play Linnell's guitar more.
Excuse you.
I want to thank everyone for coming in to a an unscheduled stream. It's a Sunday night stream. Thanks everyone for giving a super chat. The community here is awesome. Wait for Saturday. We're going to go over our next guitar giveaway. So everyone tune in for that. You guys are going to like it. It's a cool guitar. Again, I have to give a special thanks to Shenandoah Music in Winchester, Virginia. They once again stepped up to the plate and got us a brand new guitar at a little bit of a discount. Every dollar counts. So if you guys are in the area, reach out to Shenandoah, show them some love, tell them that you saw it here on Music and Gear, Avery, and I don't get a commission, but at least lets them know that when they give me 10% off or 20% off or whatever they give me for a guitar giveaway, that they're getting love back from the community. That's the big thing, guys. They've let us bring $2,000 guitars home to review, and I can tell you it's a POS. They don't care. Okay, that means a lot to me. And I get no affiliate link for those guys whatsoever. So if you guys watch my video and they sent the guitar here, the only thing they get is if you call them and buy it from them. If that makes sense. So if you guys watch the video and go to Sweetwater, that I'm not telling you what to do. It's just very difficult. And I know it's hard. It's hard to beat the larger companies because they give you free shipping. But on other items, don't forget about them. They've helped this channel out a lot. So free shout out to those guys. We're going to go this week and pick that up. That's where our little GTX come from. We give them a lot of business.
Super chat from Jupe. He says,
Ooh.
Stay safe through the weather coming your way.
Thank you so much, Jupe. Yeah, they're starting to actually scare me. I've never seen the news in this area be as abrupt, and I don't know. It's very strange.
There's been a couple weather channels that have said that the warnings and watches and stuff they're giving out right now usually happens in like the Midwest and stuff. It rarely happens around here.
Yeah, this is. I don't ever remember warnings like this. Some of them are actually pretty. The one was like, someone's going to die. It's kind of like.
They're talking several tornadoes possible, not just one or two.
Yeah, I don't even know. I've got a high roof van now, so I drive a rolling billboard. I went from a Toyota truck to hopefully a better truck, but it's a rolling billboard. And I was coming home from work Friday, and we were having high wind gusts. It blew some tractor trailers over on 81 and Interstate 75. And whether or not they were loaded, but literally they were on their side. I was coming down 66, and it was taking my van from my lane halfway over into the medium, and I was fighting the steering wheel. It would hit the van, and I would have to, and I'm watching the tractor trailer in front of me, and you could see the tractor and the trailer doing this, where he was fighting the wind. And then Linnell was showing me stuff on the computer and on her phone today that there was actually tractor trailers that in that wind were knocked over. So she was kind of like, well, maybe you shouldn't go in tomorrow. You get that high roof fan. If I lose a day of work, we feel it financially here. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to see what the warnings are. But
I'd rather you lose a day of work than you not come home.
Yeah. So, and the people I work for, Veritas, they're great people. The old saying is, the older I get, the more, this is something I've noticed, you guys can agree or disagree with me. You work somewhere and you look across the fence and the grass over there looks really green and you think they have a better job. But in reality, no matter where you work, there's issues. And the place that I'm with now, I know everyone there, and I know if they're upset or if they're happy, and I'm starting to track with it, and it's taken years. I used to do sub work for this company over the last 12 years. They would call me, I would do some CAD files, some CNC stuff for them, some AutoCAD extrusions. And then it got a little more and a little more. And then I didn't hear from them for a while, and they contacted me again. And one thing led to another, and I ended up working full time for them. So I know the company, and I felt comfortable going there, if that makes sense. So I know if I called in tomorrow and said, look, they're calling for bad weather, family wants me to stay home, I know they would understand it because they always say family first. A lot of places I worked, they didn't care if you had pneumonia. They wanted you in there, and if you wasn't in there, they'd write you up. Especially if you just didn't feel good and you didn't go to the doctor. You had to bring a doctor's note in or this note. It was kind of like, guys, I just don't feel well. I want to stay home. Well, you need a doctor's note. So I'm already losing a day. Now I got to go spend more money at the doctor. So I can't. I think I've said it before. I'm pretty fortunate. I've got a great family, and if they want me to stay home, that's what I'll do. But I appreciate everyone's wishes, and thoughts going out to us. Hopefully, it's just the news media overhyping something that's not going to be that big of a deal. Hopefully, we don't end up with 4 foot of snow like Jupe had a month ago.
Well, they said there's a possibility of snow on the backside.
Yeah, it was 80 degrees here last week for 2 days.
It's supposed to be a high of 68 tomorrow, but then it drops to 29 tomorrow night and a high of like 37 Tuesday.
Yeah, we're definitely in this area where the weather's just kind of all over the place. I've noticed in the last 15 years, we don't really usually have a spring. We have where it gets hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, and then it just stays hot. And fall has been doing the exact same thing. It'll stay hot, then you'll get a couple cold days, it'll go hot, get a couple cold days, and then it just stays cold. There's no in between where it'll stay in the 50s, for a couple weeks, then the 60s for a couple weeks, and just kind of, it just goes back and forth, and then it's 90 outside, and I don't know if you all have noticed that. We don't really get a fall and a spring like we used to, or as I remember it. I'll qualify that. I also don't think we get as much snow as we used to. When I was little, I remember more snow. But I always think, well, I was little. So if it snowed up to my kneecaps, that was 8 inches or 10 inches or 12 inches of snow. Now that would be 2 foot of snow. So I keep that in mind. I remember being little and it's like, oh, wow, it's deep. Well, I was only 4 foot tall. So if we got 3 foot of snow, it was up to here on me. I get that. But it just doesn't seem like we get the snow that we used to. And now it seems like we get a much colder. If a cold front comes in, like this winter, we had a cold front come in, and it stayed like 3, 4, 5 degrees for like 2 straight weeks. I don't really remember. In the last 2 years we've had that, over the last 2 or 3 years, really bad cold spells. So anyway, guys, I want to thank everyone for coming in. Like I said, it wasn't a scheduled stream, but I wanted to show the guitar. And I am going to get off of here and go right on and order the knobs that he wants and get this guitar out this weekend. So I want to thank everyone that participated in the guitar giveaway. Hopefully you like the sounds and you like what was done to the guitar. And that's what it's about. We're trying to be an open, honest channel here. Even though this isn't technically a guitar review, it was given to the channel. Now it's being given to somebody else. So I want to thank everyone that give a super chat or send stuff in, like Devastator sent. We have 2 guitars here from Devastator. So thank you to him for allowing me to, work on his guitars and trust me with a $3,000 Paul Reed Smith to review and then send back to him. So that's great. If you guys want to do anything or work together on anything, just send me an email or send me something on Discord. I'm sure there's already a link put up, and you guys can go to Discord and continue the fun there. There's guitar fix rooms, there's live chat rooms, there's all kinds of stuff over there that you guys can post what you're working on, post songs that you're working on, or just studio stuff, okay? Thanks a lot. We're going to do our 5-minute ending window, and I'll see everyone Thursday night. Oh, I don't have an ending window for Sunday, so we're going to use the Saturday night ending window. I think that'll work. I'm looking for it. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's this one.